Hi, welcome to another Tech Tuesday. My name's Stuart, and today we're going to talk about Blendspace and how you can use Blendspace to integrate lessons into your Google Classroom. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Blendspace, so you can just type in the web address. And we can either sign up or log in. If you're in my district, you should just be able to log in. But you can try one or either or both and see which one works for you. And if you're in my district, you can log in with your Google account. And even if you're not in my district, I recommend logging in with your Google account because that's how we're going to integrate our lessons we create in Blendspace into our Google Classroom. So I will pick my Google Apps for Education domain, and it logs me in. So this is the landing screen you see. Any kind of lessons you've already created will be in here. You can go in, you can see how many people have viewed it. Last time it was edited, you can reshare it from here and that kind of stuff. Or we can create a new lesson. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new lesson today and kind of walk through that process. So click on new lesson. And this is your layout for your Blendspace lesson. It starts you off with 6 boxes. We can add more if we need to. So we added a row. Now we've got 9 boxes. And so we can put in our title, and we're just going to call this one Test Lesson for Tech Tuesday. All right. And now it says drop your resources. And that's literally all you have to do. So if we're going to do a lesson on, let's say, the periodic table, I'm going to do a search for periodic table. And it comes up with all kinds of information. It searches thousands of different resources. I can go into YouTube and it changes my search to a YouTube search. And so I can look at all kinds of stuff on the periodic table. This is one I used to use in my class when I taught physical science. So I know it's in that video, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. I click and drag it over and boom, here it is. Now, I can change the description. So I click on the little pencil down there and say, learn this song for the final. All right, that was something I used to do with my kids. I'd have them learn the Element song. If you don't know the Element song, look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny. But I can also go through and do an image search. So if I want to give them a good periodic table to look at, to reference, I can throw that in there. I can insert a web page. So if there's a good periodic table web page, periodic.com or something like that, I can use that. Let's see. I'll just do Google so we have an example. So you see it pulls the web page. I can either pull images off of that web page, or I can actually just pull the web page itself and add it. So if you've added something and you're like, oh, you know what, I didn't really want to add that, you got the little trash can button. Click the trash can and it'll go away. If you click the plus, you basically are inserting another box. So you don't have to reshuffle or rearrange what you've already done. If you need to put something between two things, click the plus, it'll insert a box. Click the trash can and it'll make the box go away. So I'm gonna click the trash can. Do I want to delete it? Yes, I do. And so now it's gone. I can also add text. So if I just wanted to add text and say, make sure you know the noble gases for next Friday's test, or whatever. Click done. It auto saves, and now my text is there. I can also add a quiz. And this is not like a Google Forms quiz or something like that. This is a quiz directly within Blendspace. Click on add a quiz. Which one is a noble gas? I can say chlorine. Oops. Argon. Oxygen. Iron. And then I go through and I pick the noble gas and done. And now my kids would take a quiz and Blendspace will actually track that and keep records of it for me. So I wouldn't do like a a very formal quiz, but a very informal spot check. Make sure you're understanding. If you don't understand, something on the quiz, go back and review. Kind of check. Can't think of the word I'm trying to use. If I wanted to add something from my computer, I can click on the little computer, upload media file. So I click on that. I choose my file. It should open here, and I want to post the newsletter, so I'll click on that and hit open. And now it's uploaded it here. I can come over here and I can pick. So anything I've already uploaded is going to be here under my account. So I don't need to keep uploading something if I'm going to use something over and over again. So I want the newsletter in there. I just click and drag over, and now I have the PDF of the newsletter. If I want to do something from my Google Drive, when you first click on Google Drive, you're going to have to link the account. You're going to have to give it permissions for Blendspace to access stuff in your Google Drive. You know the little permission screen that comes up for Google. But after you do that, it'll let you go in and search your Google Drive. So it has everything in my Google Drive. So periodic tables, my search. So everything here, here's a blank periodic table I used to use. Active metals in the periodic table. So that seems pretty good. That's a Word document. Back before we had Google Apps. So I can add that. If I just want to search, I know it's in my Google Drive, but I'm not sure where, I can just leave the search blank, and it'll pull up all the folders in my Google Drive, and then I go in and find it wherever if I know the folder where it is. If you have Dropbox, it's the same. I don't have my Dropbox account linked to my Blendspace yet, but I could add the account. Show you what that looks like. My Google one is connected. My Dropbox is not connected, so it tells me, do I want to connect? I could click yes, grant permissions, and then I'd be good to go. I can also add standards to here. So if this was a math, say, Common Core standard for 11th grade, I could do that. I could search for that. I can tag this with standards as well. I can tag it with subjects. This is obviously science, and this is science for middle and high school. I can tag it however I want, and this would allow me, if I share it publicly, for other teachers to find it, or if I have more than one prep, perhaps I'd want to keep things organized by subject, or however. I can add more. Since we're using technology in this one, I can do science and technology. If I was doing something else, I can make it another. But here's where, so that's your lesson. We're done. We've created our lesson. You just search for stuff, you click and drag it over, and you're done. And you have the kids go through and watch or interact with, or go to the web pages, or fill out the quiz. If you make a Google form as a quiz, you pop it in here from your Google Drive. You have your form, your quiz made in Google Forms. Find it in here, drag it over, they click on it, they go take a quiz with Google Forms. But once you've done everything, like we have, you click on the share button. So I can either copy the link to the lesson, put it on Twitter, I can embed it, put it on Facebook, I can make a QR code, and I love the fact that you can make a QR code for this. So I can totally imagine somebody making 4 or 5 Blendspaces on different topics that all relate to each other, and then put hands-on interactives around the room. And you have a QR code, and you go over to that corner of the room, your group scans the QR code, you go to that Blendspace, you learn about the stuff, but then you also have the hands-on interactives, be it pieces of metal or different liquids or something like that, going back to the science theme, and you could interact with it, and that QR code would take them to the Blendspace. I could put it on Facebook if I had a classroom Facebook. But here's what I was going to show you. The Google Classroom. So we can click on Google Classroom. Move this over. And it pulls up my Google Classroom, and it asks me which class do I want to share it with. Well, I want to share it with this one. Choose an action. Do I want to create an assignment? Do I want to ask a question based off of this Blendspace? Or do I want to make this Blendspace an announcement? Well, I want to make this an assignment. So I'm going to hit go. And then it pulls up the create an assignment page for my Google Classroom. And I can type in table Blendspace. I can give them instructions. Watch the videos and answer the questions. I can set my due date. This is just like any other Google Classroom assignment. Let's see, it's Tech Tuesday, so I'll make it Topic Tech Tuesday. I can schedule it just like any other assignment. I can save the draft, or I can go ahead and assign it. But that goes straight into my Google Drive, and once I'm done, I click assign or I schedule it, and boom, it's in my Google Drive. I can change the privacy too. It defaults to anyone, and it defaults to all resources can be copied. So if you're searching through Blendspace, which you can find anything out there that's shared with anyone, and either use the pre-made lessons, or you can pull pieces of that lesson that you like and use it in your own lesson. Only public resources, which would exclude Google Docs, uploads, and Dropbox. So I could click on that, and that means anything on YouTube or anything I found on the web would be able to be copied, but anything that was in my Google Drive or in my Dropbox could not be copied. Only people with the link and my students, so that way you have to have the link to this particular Blendspace page or the students that are in your class. And I didn't really talk about the class, so let me go back. And you see it auto saves, so this is what we just created. I didn't have to click save or remember to go back and do that or anything. If I click on the classes up here at the top, I created a Tech Tuesday class. I could create a new class and call it Test 1, and it's 10th grade, and that kind of helps to sort and categorize lessons that you create in there if you choose to share them. I'm going to create the class. It gives you a class code, so when students log into Blendspace, they'll be able to click join class. You give them this class code. It's just like in Google Classroom, but they type in the class code and then they're added to your class automatically. If you want to, you could go in and manually do that. I think it's a lot easier to make the students do something rather than me. And you have the option to allow students to see all lessons or just the assigned lessons. So if you click that, they're going to see every lesson you create. If you leave that unclicked, they're only going to see the lessons that you assign to them. We'll close that. So now we've got my 2 classes in here. I can go back to my dashboard and I get a summary of everything. I see my classes over here on the right. I see the lessons I've created. I can create a new lesson. I can join a class myself as a teacher. I could create a new class if I needed to. What it'll look like for your students is you can see it yourself. If you go up here to this top and hit play, this is what they'll see. So we can play the element song, watch that video, go next. Now we see the periodic table of elements. We can go next. We'll read the text box that we made. So it just goes in order. Here's the quiz. Pick the right one, submit, view results. Oh, I can view results because I'm the teacher. Students wouldn't be able to, but they see that they got it right. And then we put the newsletter in here. So, you know, it just goes in order, but they don't have to go in order because students can see this style screen too. And so if they wanted to go back and review just one section of it, they could go in, click on that box, and it'll pull up that one. So they can skip around if they wanted to too. Last thing I'm going to mention is this discussion. You get the option whether to allow them to discuss or not when you're creating the Blendspace. It's in the settings. But if you do want them to talk about amongst themselves a section or give feedback on the video or the documents you uploaded, you know, they could leave discussion comments in the side and everybody will be able to see them. The trick is they have to be logged in. So they can't do it anonymously. So that would cut down on some cyberbullying or making fun of other students maybe, if you're worried about that kind of thing, because they do have to be logged into Blendspace to do that. And what I would do is it would encourage you, if you have Google in your district, to use your Google accounts to log in. So that way you'll see the student names. They can also thumbs up a thumbs down if they like this section or if they don't like it, and that gives the teacher some good feedback as far as what they can do in the future and what the kids respond to versus what they don't respond to. And down here at the very bottom is the settings. So if you click on that, you can enable comments or disable comments. You can also track views, who's viewed it, that kind of thing. So that's Blendspace in a nutshell. I hope you found it useful. A lot of my teachers love Blendspace. They use it. They have their kids use it to create projects. It's a very versatile tool. It's free for students. It's free for teachers. It's a great free resource. Give it a try. As always, subscribe so you can keep up with my videos weekly, and give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and we'll see you again next time.